Next up, Derek Dubery, once from Kent, but has lived in Northern Ireland for 20 years, currently living in Banbridge. He's a part-time actor, model, and ace investigator. He enjoys writing, but perhaps the process more than actually getting anything finished. Yeah, can appreciate that. He's pleased to finally have discovered a literary form shorter than his concentration span. His story is called Escape. Welcome, Derek.
How do I follow that from Malachy? Not with a song, fortunately. So this is called Escape. He twists the throttle and the motorcycle coughs more scenery at him. Trees, stone walls and a strobing white line to damnation. Air elementals tear at his face with hooked demonic claws as they scream past, howling their chaotic laughter into his tumbling slipstream. The rider's mouth, hidden under a scarf that covers his face below a pair of goggles, is the fixed slash of a sardonic grin. Behind the goggles, his eyes chase the road into the next bend. His thoughts are apex to apex. Close the throttle, brake, turn in, open the throttle, repeat. This is Zen and the art of not hitting anything solid enough to kill you. Not today. He keeps low to the bike's chromed fuel tank as the speedometer sweeps forward. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles per hour and up. The world contracts with speed. The road becomes a tunnel that seems to narrow as his velocity climbs. He careens past a car, overtaking it as if it were stationary, its driver's face an open-mouthed snapshot, single frame of film. The rider's desires are compressed to the animal essentials of the moment. The rest of his mind is gone. He's all reptilian brain just now, a single-minded, petrol-driven velociraptor with disc brakes and a roar like a diving jet fighter. The future is only the next second, not the next minute, and certainly not tomorrow, not Monday. Adrenaline pulses through him as the rev counter rises and falls with each acceleration and gear change. This is living in the moment for the moment. He's been on the road since just after dawn, racing his shadow into the west. By midday he'd caught it. By 2 p.m. it was futilely pursuing him through the dust eddies and swirling exhaust gases. 15 minutes later, the fuel gauge is wavering on empty. He kicks down the gearbox, blipping the throttle aggressively with each downshift, enjoying the noise as he bleeds off speed, then pulling off the hot tarmac and onto the forecourt of a small gas station, crunching to a halt, the rear wheel just fishtailing a little sideways on the gravel. An elderly attendant in greasy denim overalls that may once have been blue shambles towards him, towards the pumps. He pushes back his dirty snapback trucker cap, branded with some extinct oil company logo, to mop at his brow with an equally dirty handkerchief. "What'll it be, Chief?" he croaks. "Fill her up, friend," says our rider as he kills the engine, lifts his goggles and spins off the fuel cap. His eyes are pale blue and perhaps a little wild. A more romantic observer might suggest they seem haunted by old sorrows and sins, and the lines around them are the map that, if read, could perhaps show the way to somewhere you'd best not visit sober nor sane. Me, I just think they're the lines of a normal man with the normal worries of our desperate age. It's easy to imagine the worst with hindsight. The attendant pulls over the petrol line and starts to glug-glug the fuel into the tank. "Nice spike," he drawls. "Don't see too many about these days, more's the pity." The rider removes his helmet, which is now a bristling graveyard of dead insect life, rubs a hand through greying brown hair, and pulls the dusty scarf from his lower face. He smiles a crooked smile. "Thanks. You have a restroom back there?" He gestures towards the low, wood-fronted shop beside the pumps with a nod of his head. "Yes, sir, just through the store and the door at the back," as he finishes the fill and replaces the hose on the ancient pump. The rider refits the fuel cap, kicks down the side stand and dismounts the bike, leaving his helmet, goggles and gloves hanging from the handlebar end. He passes a crumpled fold of banknotes to the attendant and strides towards the little shop. 20 minutes later, his cooling bike is still there, ticking gently as the metal components contract and find their place. There is no sign of the rider. The old attendant finds him, dead, sitting on the toilet. A sudden massive heart attack, they said. I know different. He simply stopped moving long enough for those sorrows, sins, regrets, those money worries, relationship disasters, might have been moments and a lifetime of guilt to catch up with him. Furious after their long chase, they showed him no mercy. And they say speed is dangerous.